Do people really appreciate budget devices? A lot of times companies make phones like this and people really don't appreciate them. They say they want something good, and then when they get it, they don't really take advantage of it. I think the tech world today is full of people who probably think they need more than this, but that's just based on how the world is. But I would say the majority of the world could probably use this device and get away with it. This is TCL's TCL 30 SE. This has a 6.52 inch HD plus V notch cutout display. And it has their NXT Vision software on here as well, or technology I should say. So this should be pretty good. Coming in at a really low price, I'll leave a link in the description. I think you could really appreciate this device. So you can see here a 50 megapixel shooter, AI camera at that, 4 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage. It has an 8 megapixel front camera. It has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, folks. These are things that you just can't beat by today's standards. And a lot of companies just don't offer a lot in the box. But let's see what TCL did. So you got your literature. And you also have an extra screen protector. Now that's cool. I didn't see that coming. Good job, TCL. You've got a nice case, which again, by today's standards, companies don't give cases. And you have what's called a charging brick. This is a rare find these days, folks. And then you have your Type-C cable. So let's fire this bad boy up and we'll give it a run. Take a look at the hardware and give you my first impressions. So you definitely have a sleek design here. If we just kind of take a second before I power this on, you can see like the chamfered edge, it's like the edge is kind of flattened off on here and it's rounded off on the portion that you actually hold in your hand. That is very good attention to detail. I didn't notice that until after I actually took it out of the box. See here that curve there that goes flat up here where the power button and volume rocker are, and then it's curved on the bottom side. I think that's a sleek touch where your Type-C down there. Then you turn it over to the back and you've got a nice shiny glossy material here. Not my first choice for a back of a phone, but would have been nice to have matte all around there. But it is sleek. You got some TCL branding right there. And then the camera module is a matte feel looking design. Pretty sweet. Fingerprint reader on the back there, not in the power button this time. Headphone jack up top, microphone canceling up there as well. Let's go ahead and see if it's got some juice, which I know it probably will. Here we go. Nice subtle vibration. I mean, at certain price points, you have to appreciate what's going on here. I mean, this is considered an affordable device. I mean, when you think about it, how many phones do you know coming in at 130 bucks, roughly, that can give you 18 hours of use on a single charge? You can actually put an SD card in here as well. So that's another advantage. And it's kind of surprising that a lot of these companies don't continue on with headphone jacks, SD card slots. So let me get this set up and I will be right back. All right, so I set up the fingerprint reader, cleaned the device up on the back, and you can see how beautiful this shimmer is. It's a different eclectic design. I gotta admit, I really like it. Having kind of a two-tone on the back of your device. This isn't new, but it definitely looks sleek. And this is a phone that costs 130 bucks, folks. So you take that into consideration when you start to think about hardware. This is a really sleek design, and it is a premium looking design. So I did set up the fingerprint reader. It was kind of tough. It could be that my hands were oily or something like that, but I gotta say it wasn't tough. It just took a couple of taps, but it does work. As you can see, it's pretty fast. And so I'm gonna go ahead and turn off sound here. Or let's go ahead and get into here and turn off the ringer. There we go. So it's gonna come to you in a 4x6. I did change it to 5x6, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I did that. I went into the menu here and I changed it to 5x6, and because this is what I prefer. So I'm also going to go up here and change it to dark mode. Hopefully that's up here. If not, I'll go ahead and switch it in these settings because I want to give you the best view here. This is a pretty decent looking display. Oh, there it is right there. Got your glasses on, John. Got your glasses on. Dark mode is on. Okay, you can see it switched to dark mode. Okay, it's still doing some setting up, so it's a little sluggish, but in reality, this is a Helio P25, I believe. So again, if you're getting this, you're not getting this for the speedy jump through, but you will get some decent performance once this is set up. Now, I actually haven't put any of my information on it yet. I want to show you what comes on the device before I start removing things. So it's already starting to get a little speed to it. So instantly I see Facebook, so I need to go ahead and get rid of that. Let's see if we can go ahead and uninstall it or at least disable it. Now this still says Facebook. I've given you a tip before how to get rid of all of the Facebook information on your device, and I'll give it to you again in this video. So you want to go down to settings, and you want to go to apps, and then you want to search through all of your apps. And this is for people who don't want to do anything with Facebook. So first you can try typing Facebook. You won't get anything, but you want to type in Meta, and that's it. So if neither one of those show up, then you've got everything taken out. So we also, let's show system devices, system apps here. And again, try Facebook. Here we go. So you got Facebook installer right there. So on this device, with this being a, I guess when it was produced, when this device was put together, it was labeled as Facebook. So you always want to go in here and remove these items that I'm removing here if you decide you don't want to use Facebook on your device, because this is something that will drain your battery big time, and it's just using up resources that you really don't need. On some devices, it's labeled Meta. Now, like on the newer devices, my Folds and things like that, if it came on there, it's labeled Meta. So you want to go ahead and remove all of those. So as you can see here, when I pulled it up before, it didn't bring up much, but now I've uninstalled Facebook and I've got Facebook searched in the system files. These are little hidden files that will just drain your battery. They just drain your battery for no reason. And if you're not using them, you don't know that they're there. So the next thing I want to do is I want to see if I can change to a darker wallpaper or just something that looks a little different here. Here we go. All right, there we go. That's a really nice, better looking view for the camera there. So again, going through here, Facebook was the first one that I saw, but you do have this NXT Vision. This is theirs. Now, on the startup, it prompted me to activate this if I wanted to, and these top three were checked. And obviously I left them checked because why not? We definitely want to get the best out of our display that we can. As you can see, it has sunlight mode, so sunlight display mode. It increases the brightness a lot to get it as bright as it can in the direct sunlight, and this is something that you want. You want to still be able to view your device in direct sunlight. This is something that we all like to do. We don't want to have to squint and get into the shade or whatever. So this is an important part of this device, having that NXT Vision software on all of the TCL devices. Now, scanning through here, another thing I like about TCL devices, they have an official gallery. I love that. And there's not a lot of bloatware, huh? I just saw Facebook that I consider bloatware. You got the TCL home there. You've got the support. Okay, here's one. LinkedIn. I don't use LinkedIn, and I don't use booking.com. Or if I do use these things, I don't want them on my phone because they just take up resources that are just not necessary. So I'm going through this on a startup for those who are purchasing this device, and this is what you're going to see when you first get it out of the box. Now, the pedometer, you can leave that there if you want to. I keep mine. But let's go into settings again, and let's check here. Storage. I want to go into storage. I can show you here. There we go. I believe this device comes in a 64 gig as well, but I would just recommend you get the 128 gig model. You might as well. But if you don't need it, I mean, some people just don't need 128 gigs. They're perfectly fine with 64 gigs because they're using their phone for a phone. So if we go into display here, we can crank that brightness up. Darker display in dark light environment. Turn off the dark display. Yeah, this is if you want to keep it as dim as possible in the screen. It really lowers it down to save for eye constraint and things like that. So here we go. Search bar. No. Here's the area right here I was looking for where you can actually change the cutout at the top. So it looks like this right now, but you can actually make it drop down to look like that. Even it out if you want to, or you can take it like this and put everything on there. I don't know why you would use the bottom one, but I just leave it at the top to get all the screen resolution that I could possibly get. Yeah. So it's cool that they do that though. It's cool that they do that. So you can also have, let's go ahead and put the percentage next to the battery. I like to have the percentage next to the battery so I don't have to be guessing and trying to figure out what my battery percentage is. You can also turn on notification icons folder. All notifications icons will be in a hidden in an application separate icon. So that's pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Now, one thing you're going to see here is edge bar. Now this is, and you can see it right here, but I wanted to go ahead and point it out to you that it's actually turned on. It comes on by default. And I think when you just think about this, man, I mean, this is a feature that is on Samsung devices. And TCL has adapted this, and I think it's good. So as you can see here at the top, you've got functions on the first one, you've got apps, you've got contacts, and then you've got a ruler. This is really nice, man. So you go into settings here, which is this. You can do a continuous switch tabs, filter full screen. You can do a whole bunch with this. So let's go ahead and while we're here, we're gonna go ahead and mess with this. Let's add a function so you can see what this looks like. Here's the functions: launch camera in portrait mode, launch camera in video mode. These are all things that I think are just going to be quick front. These are just going to be so nice to get to. Start video recording. You can do all these things, right? Launch pro mode. This camera has pro mode. I haven't gotten into the camera settings yet, but it does have it. So let's hit done. And that's just how you add that. So you can add some apps here. You can add, let's see, it's a calculator. We can add the compass, just adding some things in here. This is good functionality for you. So if you decide to just use this sidebar, you've got the things in there that you actually are going to use. You can put your contacts to, remember, and here's these right here. So I think this is pretty cool. Let's get into the camera while we're here. Let's get here. So this is TCL's this is what their camera application looks like. So the first thing I'm going to do is go into settings here, and we're going to look at the picture size. So you switch it up to high pixel count. I'm sure there's another location to probably change that, but I just go in here and do it sometimes. Now, video quality, you're going to be limited to 1080p 30 frames per second, but 1080p 30 frames per second isn't bad quality, and I'm going to show you that in this video. You've got quick snap where you can double press down on the volume button to down on there to get a quick shot. I personally don't like those kind of shortcuts because I tend to accidentally hit them, and that's just me. I always accidentally hit those things, and I don't like that I do that. So you've got your smart guide for theirs. I like to use those. You got your calorie detection. Some of you guys might not want to turn that on, but I personally think it's a good thing to make sure you're getting your calories in there. So high pixel count was on there, so you can see that though. But you should be able to hit it somewhere else. There it is right there. Yeah, there's a spot there where you can just hit the little tab and you can turn on high pixel count, and I will take some 50 megapixel shots for you too. So going over to video, again, you're limited to 1080p video, and that's fine. I mean, for a device, and let me say it like this. There's plenty of people that are walking around with their devices now and they don't know that they are using 1080p video and they think the video is amazing. How about that? That's the best way to use that. So you got your portrait mode, you got your pro mode, you got your pan mode. Now this is probably my least used function of any camera, not just this one. I don't use panorama shots. I just don't. I'm just not interested in using panel shots. I've used them on the beach, but never really used it. Look at, oh, that's pretty dope. I said the word beach and it thought I said peach. That's pretty nice. Let's try banana. It's always listening. Banana? No? Apple? Okay, we're on peaches. Okay, so you've got auto HDR. Up here, so I would leave auto HDR on. I think that's a good look. Then you got your AI. Leave your AI on because it's going to help you. Then you got your filters over here. I mean, you can. This is where you can have some fun with these devices. A lot of devices have filters, folks, but no one really. I don't think people really use them. But I use them for the. I normally use a black and white filter. That's one of my favorite filters. So let's check the lens here. So you can see you got the tap in 2 times. It's my Bose speaker. You tap out once, twice, boom. So no ultra wide camera on here, but you have that telephoto style lens. Yeah, that is the camera. And again, this is real sluggish out of the box. I'm not expecting like this over the top performance. I'm not one of those people, but I give it props for what it can do. And again, you're talking about a phone that's $130, so what more could you expect? You got to expect something. So brightness is up to 100. Let's turn it back down here. There you go. You get a better picture of it. So this is the settings on the top. This is what it looks like. You can access everything from here. You can adjust these settings. You can edit the settings right here, and it tells you everything that you can put on there. So right now, storage isn't up there. So let me see if I can add storage. Nearby share, by the way, it's one of the most underrated features ever. You have bedtime mode. You've got system. Oh, well, let's put system update back up there. But you got bedtime mode, focus mode, nearby mode. I mean, you've got them all. Let's see if we can add them all. Yes, we can add them all. Good, good, good. I was wondering if I could add them all. That way they're just all up there. Sometimes I do that. I'll just put all the features up there so I can just have all of them on the page there. But there's a lot of things going on here to where you can actually get the most out of your device without going too far into the settings. And I think that's an important thing that people should note. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the cameras now. The software isn't really, I didn't even try to take that screenshot. I think I did the 3-finger gesture, but the accidents happen. Boom, it tells you can do it. So the settings though are pretty simple and straightforward, like most Android settings, but I want to show you the cameras, folks. That's my main thing. We're living in a social media world now, and everyone takes photos of everything. So we're going to test that front camera. We're going to test the rear camera, and we're just going to give this thing a quick little run through before I get out of here. In the world of smartphones, it is getting tight, and now you can have a phone that's $100 to $200 that performs in the video department just as good as phones that did years ago. So basically, today's so-called budget phones were last year's flagship phones. This is the camera. All right, folks, so there you have it. If you're in the market for a affordable device, this could be an option for you. I like the shimmer on this. I really like this hardware because today's standards, cameras and hardware and battery life seem to be at the top of everyone's list. And you really can appreciate what they're doing here. I mean, again, as I turn it around here, you can see the slope in the design curving up. Little subtle things like that, people will notice. I mean, I noticed immediately, and I think it's a good touch to this affordable device. It gives it a way more premium look and feel than what it really cost. And you know, today's market, when you look at cell phones, we don't know what everyone's phones cost. The only way we know is if we hold up an iPhone or a Samsung Fold or just the S22. That's how we can tell that those devices cost a lot. But you would never think this device was under $200. You just wouldn't think it. So shout out to TCL for supplying this device for a quick look, man, and I appreciate it. This is just a good looking device, man, and it performs fairly well too. There it is, the TCL 30 SE.